First of all, congratulations on Abigail. I was expecting something different when I saw the trailer, but I was very pleasantly surprised when I was watching the movie. For you, what was so important? What caught your attention about this? Why did you want to be a part of it?
I think that there's a lot more responsibility with leading a movie, and I've never done that before. I've been really lucky to get a lot of really interesting, really exciting supporting roles, but I've never carried a movie before, and doing it with a character as interesting and complex as Abigail, it was such a gift, and it was like a once in a lifetime experience as an actor and just also in general.
Definitely. I remember you from Lights Out. It was a fantastic movie. Uh, David Sandberg is such an amazing director and has gone on to do so many more amazing projects.
Yeah.
How different is that type of horror genre to this type of horror genre?
I think to me, my experience was really different. It was almost felt like two very different genres. Even though Abigail is horror, I think it does lean more on like a thriller
Mhm.
slasher side of it. And then Lights Out being like a creature horror film, me getting to play the creature, uh it was very different. And like when I was in Lights Out, I was like head to toe in special effects makeup, and I didn't like talk in my normal voice. I wasn't really like human. Um so I think like all like those are two very different experiences, playing something inhuman, something like a creature, and then playing um a person who's just pretty messed up still though anyway. I think that that's what the biggest difference was.
Definitely, and Abigail, like you said, that character is extremely complex. She seems very um to herself in the beginning, and it opens up throughout the project.
Yeah.
What was it like playing that progress, and was there any obstacles in following that type of mood and attitude for her?
Yeah, I think it required a lot of preparation beforehand. Like to prepare for it, I read the script back and forth like 100,000 times. And I think my main thing that I needed to do was understand um, her angle, so that I didn't have to think about it too much when I was like on set and doing the script. Like I wouldn't have to plan out each line, how it was going to be said. I felt like I had to know where she was coming from. And with Abigail, it's not relatable to me at all. With Abigail, there's always an angle. It's always manipulation. She's either, she's trying to manipulate, deceive, overpower, um, all of those things at all points in time. So that was difficult because sometimes when you're playing a character that's maybe more like yourself, you intuitively know their instincts. And with Abigail, I did not at all, so I had to learn them. That was a challenge.
Uh, Having that challenge, having a co-star like Tren Red Reed Brown, who does an amazing job himself.
Phenomenal.
Was that
Yeah.
easier, or how was it working, alongside him?
Yeah, it was a lot easier. He made it really fun and way easier than it could have been because we could just play off each other. And I think that we did it very naturally, and he really embodied the character so well and took a really interesting approach. And there's like, I think with Abigail and Lucas, there's a unique power dynamic where they're both constantly trying to tug at each other, and Abigail's trying to pull him into her world, and he kind of knows deep down it's wrong. Like he knows that she's crazy, and Abigail doesn't care, and I think that that was just really fun to do. And also, I think that Abigail's main thing that she has with Lucas is she's like corrupting him
Mhm.
throughout the whole film, and I think that if there is a good character in the film, it is Lucas. He is the redeemable one. So I think that the two of them play off of each other really well, and Tren was really, really great to work with. And he's a new actor too, and he just killed it.
For you, doing Abigail. Was there any obstacles in getting to that point where it seems like she's overconfident throughout the entire thing? The power dynamic is definitely there. She's very powerful. She's a very strong character. Uh, what was it like to embody that? And what did it take from you since you say you're not much like that character?
Yeah, that's a really cool question. That was actually definitely one of the hardest parts because it's like this person, the character I'm playing, Abigail, she just her confidence is off the charts
Yeah.
because she does all of these insane things without blinking an eye. And yeah, that's hard to get a grasp on. And I think that's where the fun of the movie comes in, is because you slowly get introduced to her world, how she handles things, and it's just like a train wreck happening in slow motion, and a very exciting one. So that was hard because it's like, how can this person just feel so confident doing these insane things? But she just does. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
hard.
Throughout this movie, we slowly get introduced to a little bit of Abigail's background. For you, how much background did you know while playing the character? Did you ask any questions about, before all of this, and what was, your knowledge of her before everything?
My knowledge was, I tried to get as much as possible. So there was a lot of um, really reading deep into the script, and then also talking with like the a lot of communication between everyone, like the writer, and explaining what the intent was for Abigail, and kind of some backstory that was in mine that isn't really very clearly laid out in the movie, but is good knowledge for me to have. So yeah, there was a lot of research about her intentions, and there was it's helpful to know the backstory so you know where the characters are coming from.
For a lot of actors, when they go from stuff like Nickelodeon or Disney to more adult movies, more I guess more mature content.
Yeah,
They
hard
it can be
transition.
difficult. It can be uh I don't know, like it could be very jarring. It doesn't seem
Yeah,
like you've strayed too far from who you are. You keep going in a similar trajectory. How do you choose your roles? How do you continue on like this?
yeah. I mean, it's such a hard transition for so many people to have, and it is. It can be really jarring. It can be jarring as an audience, and it can be jarring as an actor. But I think for me, the transition was smooth-ish because I I really enjoyed my Nickelodeon days and doing those kind of projects. And like I don't have any like they were just they're just such a good part of the experience. And I think that my transition was pretty slow. Like I think that there was a lot of small parts that helped me transition and that helped me kind of keep my range, and I think as like, a lot of actors look younger than they are. So that's kind of always something that's going into play too, is that you're not you're not really playing characters that mirror your age
Mhm.
consistently. You kind of hop around a little. At least I did. So yeah, oh, and then choosing the roles, I think that like I think I've just been really lucky to like the roles that I am very passionate about, I have landed the ones that I really love and are drawn to. And I think moving forward, I'd love to keep doing things like Abigail, and it's exciting to transition.
Definitely. And I've always seen you around in red carpets. You're always doing events. You've kind of grown up in the spotlight. How do you keep your mental health in a good state, being around so much chaos all the time?
Yeah, actually, it's hard because it's a really it's a cutthroat industry in general, like a lot are, um, and but I think that I have unique circumstances. I live in San Diego, and I have for my whole life, so I've always had so much separation between LA and that whole thing. and my life. So it's kept me out of it a little bit. And I don't know. I mean, I think that, if you're really into it, it's a great place to be, like LA. I mean, that's where it is.
Mhm.
But it's good to have a balance because that world is rough. It can be difficult. And it's not only just difficult because of, you know, I don't know, the maybe spotlight that could potentially come with it, and on varying levels too. But it's you get so much rejection as an actor. It's like so difficult, especially when you're a kid too. Like it's just such a like all my friends that are in the industry, the stories that we have about the rejection that we've gotten or like the treatment, not that any treatment has been out of the ordinary bad, but you have to like be an adult in the industry as a kid. And that is a challenge for sure, but I think it's helped me in my adult life be more ready for it.
How important is the support of family and having a support group around you when you are getting constant no's because there's so many projects going on, so many more actors. Like not everybody's always gonna get a yes. How important is it to have your family behind you and that support group that you create?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to me. I have my family's very tight knit and have always been extremely supportive of me, and this is not something that I could ever do without the amount of support that I get, not just from my family, but like from my team too, who I've been with for a really long time. I've been with my agents my entire career. My manager, Sharon Lane, is just like is a really big part of this whole experience. And having family makes it makes the rejection a lot easier for sure. But if you don't have that and you still love it too, I think that you can still, if you build a thick skin, it's still something that you could do by yourself if you really are passionate and you aren't lucky to have a support system starting out.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time. Abigail's an amazing
Yeah,
project. You have such an amazing career, and I'm sure you're gonna have an amazing career going forward as well. And
thank
thank you
you.
very much for your time.
Thank you so much for all the really interesting questions. It was really, really nice talking to you. It was so fun being on the show.